Yo, welcome to another episode of Kicking It with Peng podcast. Today we have a whole new entire crew. As you can see, Mr. Now and Later and Cooking with Donut is not here today because they're a bunch of little. I'm just kidding. But today we have to my right Mr. Clueless and another new co-host, Mr. Main or Kong Jean.
Thank you.
Alright guys, so today's topic, is a little more of sensitive, as you guys can see when I sent it to you guys. Today's topic is basically about depression, suicidal thoughts, and basically mental health. The suicidal thoughts is more like let's say why I chose this topic is basically I've been seeing lately that there's been a high rate of Hmong kids, or more Hmong people in general are like high suicidal rates at the moment. But the first thing we're gonna dive into is depression. So the question that I want to ask you guys: what causes depression? What makes you depressed? Any kind of situations? Because for me, it's like, let's say right now for me, it's like depression comes in any kind of way, like family stuff, your personal stuff. For me right now, it's like I'm injury prone and I get depressed about it because I can't do the things that I want to do, like going to TwitchCon or traveling, or because like right now I'm going through physical therapy and I'm already booked for this month and next month and the next following month, and I can't do the things that I want to do. But any one of you guys could answer, like what causes depression for y'all, man?
You want to go?
Anything, honestly. Like it could be like the smallest thing, it could be the biggest thing. It really depends on the person, honestly, because like going through life, we're in our 30s now. If you haven't gone through depression in your like 30s, you're lying to yourself. And it's funny because like I thought that I would debut in a different whole type of podcast, but I was talking to Peng about this, and it's crazy because like the people that know me, like I'm like the happiest person in the world, and then you would never think that, hey, that guy like was depressed. But
This man's an alien.
But to be honest, I think that's all of us though.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Usually, sometimes even if you're the happiest person, you kind of just bottle everything up, and then it kind of just goes overboard over time. But yeah, it's just little things can add up to big things. Like it could be anything, honestly.
Yeah, and then for that, like for me, it doesn't always have to be like a long period of maybe like depression and stuff either. It could just be like it comes in waves, you know, because I mean I was actually in was diagnosed with depression in you know, and then that I didn't figure that out until like let's say sophomore year of high school, and that was when I was doing some therapy. And then you know, like at first it wasn't even for that, it was just to figure out, you know, what's my mindset, what's everything like that. And then like until you know, my therapist was asking like, oh, it's a nice day out and stuff, like what do you like to do and stuff. And I was just I was telling her like, oh, you know, sometimes I just like to chill in my room and like, you know, and just, you know, be by myself and stuff. And then it's like, and then oh, she would ask, what do you do after you come home from school and stuff. And I told her that, yeah, you know, all that, like, yeah, I like to, you know, sometimes throughout the day I can't wait until to come back home and just chill in my room, you know. And like with like just having like either like the lights off and just, you know, have, or like a little bit of light and just like listen to music or whatever and be by myself. And even on nice days. And then that's where she kind of like diagnosed me and stuff. And then she was like, you know, I think you might like be depressed and like, or have depression. And then to me, I didn't like look at it as like that potentially until like, you know, because you learn this in school too, in high school too, you know, but in health class and everything. And then until like I started connecting the dots, and I'm like, you know, yeah, I think that's probably like, you know, like she's probably right about that. And then like, you know, it's not like it's gone away, you know, like, and then you guys know me too, like I'm pretty happy, you know, like when we're together and then we're pretty like we have fun and everything,
chill, pretty happy.
right, yep. And then like, you know, like as like it comes in waves. That's why I kind of said before, like, you know, it comes in waves. Sometimes, you know, it's maybe like for a short time, or sometimes, you know, it's you know, it's for a short period or longer period, you know. And it's not like, oh, once it's gone, no, it comes back, you know, in waves.
Yeah, I think for depression, like what causes, sometimes like it's like situational too. Like for example, pretty much a good portion is Americans, especially with the economy is not the best, and like have the jobs or the lifestyle they want, so they're like dealt with certain cards, and sometimes you can't really change hands that you're dealt with. So, like for example, for me, I'm just trying to grind on my career, trying to get a better job so I can like afford a better lifestyle. Like I don't really want to be like working the 9-to-5 job forever, or like, so like even like just knowing that I have to do that for a few years, and you know I might not be able to travel here and there, or like that could cause like depression. You know, I want to travel more, I want to do things with my friends, but like as of right now I can't do that. I have to be disciplined. I can't spend money on crazy stuff, even though like I may have money here and there, but like, you know, it like that caused like depression, I think. But I think that goes in the category of like things that you can like change to help. Like it's different from clinical, you know. Clinical is like something like you actions can't really do things. Like it's more like your brain part. That's, I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about like just this part.
Yeah. Going back to what Michael said, so like basically you went through basically like a clinical help. So for you, like what I want to ask is like what is like the difference between like just the clinical help from depression versus how you will handle like the situational. That'll go for any of you guys if you guys ever went through it. I never went through a clinical depression or had help with it. I just coped it with myself. But I just want to ask how did that go? Like How did you handle it by yourself, and how the clinical way as well, getting help?
I mean, like, for during that time, like, it was just regular therapy, like, just to kind of see where you're like, just how you're doing, like back, like how people would talk to you and how's your day going and stuff like that. That's how it was that's how it was. And then, it was just and then, as like said, it wasn't just like, oh, one day and then all of a sudden she like all of a sudden, say, diagnose me with that. No, it was like, sessions and, like, and like what Fu was saying too, like, it was like other events, like, it's other different events, like, for example, like, we're in high school and, you're still kind of figuring out yourself, and then, and, like, you're, make friend groups and all that, and then, and then it's just, like I said, many different things just piles up, like, comes at you, and then it kind of brings you into that state. And then, like I said, she, as she was diagnosing me and stuff like that, or, just asking how I treat my days, and that's where she said it. And then that's where I was like, yeah, I was connecting dots, and that's how, I kind of thought to myself too, and then it made sense. But for that, like, they, it made me, it made me more self-aware,
Yeah.
It made me more self-aware, like what, as I grew, I mean, as I get older now, it's like, you kind of know how to
cope with it.
Cope with it. What kind of helps you to kind of get out of that state a little bit. And like, it's not like like I was cured, like, it's like it still creeps up, and like that's why I said it comes in like waves,
Yeah, it'll come and go. Like, cause for me too, like, cause I lost my brother at a young age, and like I lost my dad at a younger age. Like, basically, my brother was during like my freshman year, I believe, or 2015. Oh no, that's my pops. So basically, out of high school, no, going into senior year.
Yeah,
that was 2011 during like Christmas week, and like I can never see Christmas the same.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it comes in waves. There's days where I'm like down as well. That's why I go fishing a lot. Fishing cures everything, guys. Just keep yourself busy. Any kind of hobby that you got to do to keep yourself busy, keep your mind off of it. But other than that, it's like, why is it so hard for like certain people, or like in general, to like talk? Like, for us guys, right? Most of us, not calm, talk about our feelings, and in the society, in the bigger world, is like, like people see as all men talking about their feelings is like them being soft, or them being
vulnerable,
them being vulnerable, and stuff like that. Why is it so hard for like us men to talk to each other about feelings when we're depressed, sad, or anything like that?
I guess well, you guys like a rabble with me. Just kidding. I think the hardest thing is that, to us, it's a sign of weakness, and it's not that I'm like, dude, I'm weak, I'm not gonna talk about feelings. I just sometimes, for me, those kind of like positions, it just like when somebody comes to me with those, I see them, I'm like, oh damn, what do I do? So I don't want to go over to somebody else and be like, talk to them about my feelings, and then they're thinking like, what the hell is this guy here? Why he's talking to me about this?
Part of it is to like like your lifestyle, right? Like like going back to like, I mean, not to interrupt, but kind of like how we grew up in like in our household too, right? So
I don't know. Like Michael said, honestly, my household's just a happy household, and I just never had we just never went through like sadness or like depression. So I don't know how to go tell people about what my issues are. I don't know.
Yeah,
we just always just laugh it off. That's why that's just how we are.
Dude, just bring out a broom. That's okay.
They're there.
They're there.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard because I think at the end of the day, you think about it just honestly to men, you know, it's just weakness. Like, not trying to admit it, but I think
It's too much pride.
yeah, too much pride.
Pride and ego.
Yes, yes.
You want to chime in?
I mean, the only thing I would say is just I mean, I like to like watch people talk, and I think it's just in general, like in terms of history, like any kind of like depression stuff like that, like back then, like it didn't really help to like just think about that stuff, to dwell on those kind of thoughts, because like especially like ancient times, you know, like that's not gonna help you. Like if some kingdom or whoever was like out there to kill you, that your depression wasn't gonna help you. Like, and those times were probably the best time to get yourself killed, because you weren't like trained to get yourself to be in the best shape, and you weren't like gathering resources to like, you know, make your place better, to fortify. So like I guess I don't know, like it's you know, Mother Nature is still it's still tough. Like we may not be in those times, but like those concepts still apply here, you know. And I wish it was different, but I feel like that's how it is. Like that's not how I want to believe, but just looking at how society is and how society treats men overall, like in the end, like it is men that holds up like the society. Like I said, I don't want to say that stuff. I grew up like thinking like everybody, you know, is equal and stuff like that. But when you look it down and you look at the actual like bottom line, like men, we hold society up. Like you can't afford to do that, or else like your wife is gonna pay for it, your kid's gonna pay for it, you know. So you have to step up the game, because, and you know, it's very, it may sound really cliche, because like I said, everybody online, they say some sort of like form, like how I said it, like some sort of versions, you know. But I think that's why, you know, we don't talk about it, because in the end, it's not gonna serve society. And sometimes, on a lighter note, sometimes when you're depressed, sometimes at some content of it, it's just you just thinking about too much, you know. Because I've done that, you know. Or I think about the problems, then you know, I go out or I do some, keep myself busy. I come back to like, hey, it wasn't that bad. I like sometimes the depression, it just ruminates too much in your head, and that's where the toxicity comes out. That's where you may do something that you may regret. So
Yeah.
And this is like besides just men, but this is in general. I think when you're depressed, when you're depressed, it's really hard to go out and talk to people about it, because like you're in a deep hole, and it's a really dark time, because like, for example, I've gone through a lot of like situational depression. I've never been like at a clinical level, but it's just little things that build up over time. But for example, like a good specific like time was when I came back from Japan. I had a really, really, really bad reverse culture shock, and it was really hard for me to talk to people about it. And when I brought it up to people, they kind of disregarded it, because they didn't understand what I was talking about. So then it hit me really hard for a long time, because like you just see little things, or like you hear certain noises from Japan, and like certain places that you lived, and you're just like, God damn, I wish I was there right now again, you know. But then the funny thing was, when I was leaving Japan, I was so ready to come back home. I was so ready to come back home, and it was just like, damn, I'm finally leaving Japan. Like I love Japan. Japan's like my second home, but when I got back, it hit me real hard. And then I never when I finally talked to my cousin, she was the only person that really understood me, because she also studied abroad, and when she came back, it hit her really hard. So when I was finally able to talk to her about it and have somebody understand like where I came from, it really helped, because it really kind of lifted up like something off my shoulder at the time, and that's how I kind of eventually got over it. But man, even sometimes I hear some noises like the train station or something, I'm just like, God damn.
Yeah.
No wonder you travel so much.
Yeah,
you're right.
I
Always travel.
I always travel. I love traveling.
No wonder, man. No wonder you travel. Well, yeah.
But
Like that's one way. Like, yeah. Like for me, it's like it's not for me. I don't travel as much. I only travel here and there every other year. But for me, it's like just getting away from your comfortable state. Like the time when we moved to St. Cloud, that's why I jumped the gun right away to move to St. Cloud, because I just like basically lost my pops during at that time. And like what Colin said, it is hard to talk to someone because at that time, of course, we didn't talk to each other like how we are now. You know, because it's just weird for us as men. It's weird, and we were younger back then, so we looked at that as weakness. I don't look at it like that anymore. I used to, but yeah, it is hard to talk to someone like one of your guys or one of your friends. But for me, thank God I had my best friend. Shout out to Kajai. She was there most of the time for me when I was depressed, and like my dad and stuff like that. And of course, Michael was there for me as well. But like, try to like fight it myself, or like try to handle depression myself at the time. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple times that I did wanna. That'll be the next segment after the break, but like I just want to chime in on you guys since the topic is about depression and suicidal mental thoughts. Like there was many times that I wanted to kill myself, but I saw that as not an escape, and I saw that as more of a just ending it. But at the same time, in the back of my head is like, I was more of like selfish. If I did that now, it's like super selfish. And it's like, that's just more agony for the people that love you and people that's actually there for you at the time. And that's why, like I said, that's why I go fishing a lot. Fishing, doing this kind of stuff, and just hanging out. It's like, it's tough, man. Try to fight it for yourself, but like now it's like, you talk to people and it helps, but sometimes you have to do things to like cope with it. Basically, yeah. So
Like Michael says, it creeps up on you no matter what you do.
Yeah, like, you know, it creeps up, and you know, something like you just don't know it, you know. And then it's not just like, oh, like it's a lot of things, you know. Like some, like, you know, thinking about like where are you at where you want to be in life, you know. And you know, it's and it's like what Peng said, you know, like that's the one thing that some people don't realize it, that until like it's called like that last step, you know?
it's like too late,
or, you know, taking
you're on the edge.
Yeah, you know. And that's when like, you know, people kind of just really find out, or like know, you know. That's, you know, we seen that, you know, in life, you know. We see, like Robin Williams and like bunch of like celebrities and stuff, you know, or like just anybody, you know.
But yeah, that's why like nowadays for us in our age, or like just people in general, like don't be afraid to like reach out, don't be afraid to talk. I mean, there's some people like Kong where he might not care, but he actually cares. He just doesn't know how to express his feelings.
Because their family are aliens.
Their family are aliens.
You know?
I never see a day where they fight. Yeah, man, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to talk.
And
like,
yeah.
Even my girlfriend, my wife now at the time, you know, it was even hard for me to talk to her about depression or feelings at the time, because you know I'm just always such a happy person, so then it was hard for me to show her that side, I guess. So then like it built up so much over time that one day like she was like, she finally noticed. Like it went from that Japan part, because pretty much like she studied abroad first semester, and then just half the year there, and then I was there for a whole year. So after she left, like it kind of just went kind of downhill on that. But then I was also enjoying Japan at the time, so I was finding other things from myself to do to keep myself busy. And I love Japan. I explored everywhere. And then it's funny because I'll do that all day. I go class, I go travel all day, and then at night I'll be gaming with these guys to keep it off my head, you know. so I'll just be playing game, and then wake up, sleep for a couple hours, go to class, go travel again. And then I did that until I came back. And then there's pretty much fast forward that to just going back to studying in college. just being a college student, you kind of just struggle. You have like a low ass paying job, and then like Fu said earlier, just struggling in general, that throws you into depression because you're like
struggling in general will throw you in depression.
Yeah, because you're living paycheck to paycheck. You had to study full time for school. You're working part time. You have barely any time to study, and then you're trying to pay bills, trying to pay rent, and then also at the time too, going back to school, I relied a lot on my dad to help me with a lot of bills too. So then, eventually, he had a stroke, and then when he had a stroke, I took a lot of self blame on myself. That the reason why he got his stroke, because I was just taking so much money away from him. But that wasn't it. But then it was just pretty much little situational depression that built up over time, and then it finally hit me so hard when he had a stroke. So then I just didn't want to do anything. I didn't even work at the time no more. I just kind of shut myself away. Like if I wasn't seeing Ashley, I was just like on playing game with the guys. That's kind of what made me get off the mind of that. And then it went on and on. Dude, I got big. Like my weight, my health, also went downhill too.
His giraffe neck disappeared.
Yeah, for almost being 200 pounds for me, if you guys know me, that's really big. And I finally saw a photo. I finally saw a photo of myself, and then I was just like, God damn. And then I was just thinking to myself, dude, I need to get myself out of this. And no matter what I did, I just kept digging myself a hole. And then I finally saw the light when one day I was just, my mood was just always so bad. I was just always ticked off by the littlest thing. And then Ash, my wife, was like, dude, what is wrong? And then this is probably 2-3 years after my dad had a stroke. No, not 2-3 years. It was probably a year after. And I finally just spilled everything. And that was the first time I've ever felt so vulnerable. Because I don't show that side of me. And then
you don't.
She finally understood what the hell has been going on. And she was my girlfriend at the time, and it was even hard for me to tell her. And that's just kind of how depression is. You just don't have it and want to go tell people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You kind of just
you don't
go through it and struggle through it by yourself, and situational depression. It's you have the it would be your own power to get yourself out of it. And after that, I kind of just slowly climbed myself out, and here I am. I'm happy again.
Yeah, but sometimes people don't get those results. Some people don't snap out of it, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Some people are just this is my life now. This is it.
I mean think that's where it would kind of go into.
That goes into friends and families' health.
Some people don't even have friends too. That's the scary part.
And that also goes into clinical depression help and stuff like that. Most of the time,
even close friends, these guys, I never went with them. They never even knew I was in a deep hole.
I knew you had depression. I just didn't approach you. I can tell when someone is depressed, but it's just it's just like you said. You're so different to the point where, if I approach, to me in my head, if I approached you, you would have saw it why are you talking to me? I'm okay, and then you just laugh about it.
Well, for me, I know all of you guys a lot, but for me, there's times that I don't know you guys depressed, but you guys know me. For now, in my sophomore year, I bike to his house every day. For me, I don't know if you're depressed or not, but I don't ever want you guys to get hurt yourself, but because don't think there's no one there for me. And it's no, I'm there for you. Though I don't know that you're going through depression, I hang out with all of you guys here in this room, so almost every day or whenever I can. So though I don't know what you guys going through, just know that I'm there for you. If you don't want to tell me, that's fine, but just know that I'm here, and don't do anything stupid, and whatever you need to do it. If you want to tell me, tell me. So that's how I kind of deal with it. If people know me, if people know me and they hang out with me, that's why I try to do my best to help people. Sometimes I may say things kind of harsh and stuff like that, but that's just how I am, I guess. So yeah.
Having like us in general, we always have each other's back, but the arm is always there. But then people that
It's
are
it's
independent,
hard.
it's hard.
It's harder than it is.
Yeah, it's up to that
You know?
person to reach out for that hand, and that's the hardest thing to
And
do.
then because like that, like relating back to that's kind of where like not say just men, right, but people in general, but
And
then
females too.
yeah, females too. And then like to kind of go back to what Fu said about like as men, when you kind of go through that state, it's like, because for example, like my dad recently passed, and like, and then to me it was like, my mom passed within the same year, like my mom and dad passed within the same year, just 6 months apart. And like, to me, during that time where I had to do my dad's funeral, it through the trauma and everything, through doing my mom's, for my dad, it was more of like, oh, like I didn't really have time to grieve and everything in the first
Yeah.
place, because like as like, not saying like, oh, just because I'm a man, but it's like just my own, like I had to get stuff done, like finance, or like just kind of the work that you got to do for funerals, like that's that played a part in my mindset of like dealing with all of that, and then first before I could like grieve, and
Just recover from your mom's
Yeah.
funeral.
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
in general too, like guys, we process our emotions a little differently, a little slower. Just like look, Kong took a while, right? But like for you, it's like it's been 6 months. You probably, for your first parent, probably took like maybe the first year, but you didn't get that luxury. Just so it's like, yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna come a little different just because you didn't have time to process it. And it's a life journey too. Like losing a parent, like it's never gonna be the same. And like I'll be honest, like I like there's part of me that's still bitter about it. There's things that I wish I could have done, but you don't get it. You have to take that lesson and just become better. But like to lose another parent right off the bat too, it's like great. Now it's like I didn't even get to process this. I didn't even get to turn this raw material to something good, and I got to take this other raw material and try to do something with it too.
Yeah, like losing a parent is like really hard. A lot of the times throughout the years, I did blame myself for it too. It's hard, man. I'm getting emotional. I'm sorry,
Hey, man,
I'm getting emotional.
that's what we prepped for, man. I
Yeah.
mean,
I might cry. You
it's
can
okay
hear it
to
in my
cry,
voice.
bro. It's still
no,
it's
like-
still mental health
mental health month. It's hard, man. I'm about to cry.
It's all right, man.
I need to cry.
We're here
No.
for you.
No.
We're here for you, man.
No.
This is why it's hard to go to your other friends for help.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's hard. Someone else talk. I'm gonna cry. I can't cry, guys.
It's hard, man. Like, cause like I mean, you guys know that like during all this happening, it I was different. Like I was pretty distant from you guys and everything. And but that's just part of me having to cope. With how my mindset, my mental health, my depression, and then just like I said, it's a lot of things, different things that just pile up, like maybe anxiety. You're anxious about something, and then that makes you overthink, and then it kind of goes back into the depression, and makes you kind of want to go down into that deep spot.
Yeah, for me, like when it comes to my dad, like just me thinking about my dad passing away, like there's a lot of trauma and there's a lot of things that I know for sure. Like when I think about some things, like I'm not sure about you guys, but like for me, I felt like some of my family members or some of my people that love my family, like maybe they already moved on. I mean, I don't know, but for me, I feel like when I think about my dad's, like there are just some things that I just haven't really like buried, and that's what like kind of scares me, because it's like some of that wound is still like really fresh, and like to me sometimes I feel like my dad's not really gone, and like sometimes like when you guys hear me talk, like I'll say like my parents, or like I'll still talk in tone like my dad's still here, but it's like he's not. But it's just like it just shows like what I'm going through, like is what other people go through. Like it's like we're all like humans. We're all like we're mortal. Like not gonna live forever. Stuff like that. Like I understand. Like it's really hard because like it's only been like a year, I think, a year and so months. But
a year or two.
Yeah, he passed away in February 2023. So yeah, it's past the 1 year mark. But yeah, it's just like even then, like a lot of stuff like trauma. Like I'm just thinking about to myself like, man, I have not gone over yet. It's just I just know it in my head. Like it's something like I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what it is. But like I just feel like it's not over yet for me.
Yeah, but going back to what I said, it was hard, man. Like I blame myself, and like there was a lot of things that I could have done. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, because like for my family, like now we talked about the other podcast about like blood isn't thicker than water. Like for my family, what they wanted me to do was like, since I was the youngest son, I had to like financially like take care of my parents. Like obviously that dream can't really be fulfilled. Like no matter how successful I am, my dad's never gonna see.
It's my dad had a stroke, and I'm thankful that he's still with me. So it's the realization that you guys have is like, well, I had that realization too. It's like, I just always been everywhere. Like always, I always studied in Chicago, came back, studied in St. Cloud, and then when he had that stroke, like it really hit me, because I was like, dude, I'm gonna lose my dad. I probably won't ever see him again, because he had like a 10% chance of surviving. So then after we were able to get him out of that, and he's back. I'm lucky enough to have I could spend more time with him, and do these kind of things just to see him and here and there. But it's crazy, because if he were to pass, man, I don't know, man. I think I would just be such a broken guy, because when he had a stroke, and every day I just come straight back from school, go to the hospital, and I just sit there. That was the hardest time, when you just sit at the hospital just waiting, and you're like, I don't know the results. I don't know how it's gonna be like. I don't know what's gonna happen. And then you just see your dad all tubed up, all everything. It's the hardest thing to see, like especially your dad in that kind of situation. And again, I'm just happy that I'm able to still see him. And yeah, it's
Oh, I cried. I told myself I was gonna cry.
It's a hard, man. It's a hard topic, man.
But yeah, with that, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. But yeah, if you haven't started creating, or if you want to be a content creator, you can go to creatit.gg. He will help you with a podcast like this. If you already know, I'm also with Cooking with Donuts. Creatit.gg will help you with any content creator you need. If you're just an upcoming one, if you're already a content creator, you could go there. They can help you out. You could be doing podcasts like this, cooking shows, gaming, any IT work or computer questions that you need. You could go to creatit.gg. And with that, we are going on a break. And we're back from crying. We were crying so hard off camera. You guys just couldn't see it. No. But yeah, now we're going to our second topic of the podcast here. If it sounds like I am not depressed, I am. But our second segment of the podcast is basically basically about mental health and suicidal thoughts and suicidal through the Hmong community. Since we are Hmong, we should talk about our brothers and sisters through the Hmong community. It is hard being Hmong sometimes. You're traditional. The reason why I chose this topic, or me and my other co-host Cooking with Donut chose this topic, because we saw a video. I wish we could pull it up, but we aren't that ready, and I don't want to be copyrighted by the news. But there has been a high volume of like suicidal through the Hmong community. I tried to find the ratings, but I couldn't. But as I tried to research, it was pretty high, to where they couldn't even put a rate 4%. But yeah, like, what are you guys' thoughts about like it's not just the Hmong community or our Hmong brothers and sisters, but yourself as well, like your mental state. Have you had suicidal thoughts and stuff? One of you guys have any time in on that?
For me, I think one of the reasons why like it's hard for the Hmong communities is that we came from like the like a third world country, so that at that kind of world, like you're on the baseline of like survival. Like you have to grow rice and farm, and then jumping to like a different world, to a country like this, like, and you start from the bottom. Like you don't speak the language, you don't have any money, you don't even know the education. So like you're on survival base mode at like Thailand or Laos, and you jump into like this base level of like learning how to survive in this country. For us, it's the motherland. We didn't even like they don't talk about that stuff. Like we're so busy like trying to survive on a day-to-day base. Jump here, like it's another like game of itself. So like now we're talking about depression is because like now that all the generations have grown up, and now that we are like living in America, like we're starting to see like, hey, like there's a lot of like themes that we didn't see back in the motherland. Now we're seeing here. And it's kind of hard for the OGs because like they don't understand like what the social norms are, the social structures here versus over there. And then now like the young generations are like kind of like are going through it because they're born here. They weren't born over there, so they don't know what that was, but they know what this is. I think that's one of the reasons why it's hard for us to talk about it.
To piggyback off that, it's like, even though if there is that, back over there, they didn't know what to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like or there wasn't a thing for it.
Yeah,
but even I mean we say that, but it's like
have it like clinical depression or some stuff like that.
Or it's caution.
There was no time to be depressed back there. They got a farm and they got a family to take care of. Like there was never any time. You kind of just bite your tongue and keep feeding your family pretty much at that point,
And then it goes back to what I kind of said earlier about like as a family, as your family is dealing with that kind of talk, talking to each other about all of that, and that's where it's like, as just Hmong people as well, is we go through it, but then it's like how we grew up, or some families grew up, you don't really talk about that to each other, so it's like you don't know how to deal with it, you don't know how to cope with it, and that's why it kind of goes back to where, I mean, we all hear, right? Like we don't know the statistics by numbers, but we all heard about, this person, like they off themselves.
Yeah, the happiest person in the world is, and then all of a sudden you heard, dude, have you heard, this person or your cousin or your friend, did you hear that they just passed away?
Yeah, or like their girlfriend, boyfriend broke up with them,
girlfriend.
And then they,
it's not even just Hmong like
yeah,
in general,
yeah,
like literally Asians.
Yeah,
we don't talk about feelings,
Asians
especially in families. We don't talk about the feelings. There's no feelings.
You get people like Kong.
Yeah, because like we're so focused on like success. Like, all right, become this. There is no time for depression. But you guys ever heard of that prank, the smoking prank, where there's like a group of people trying to sign up for application. It's a video.
Yeah.
And they're writing papers, and the lady like she sits in the middle, and then they let smoke in the room, right? And the smoke, and then she's looking around, it's like no one's saying anything. So I'm just not gonna do anything. So that's like how like society is.
Like the I know where you're talking
so like
about.
there's depression, but like people like,
kind of...
well, my family doesn't talk about it, so your family doesn't talk about like, so if this person's depressed, then I'm not gonna help you. You know, it's like I'm not gonna help you. They don't do anything.
So we have a question from Cute Mode, aka Mr. Shoye. Hey guys, what are some solutions to combat these culture struggles, and how can it be implemented to better us men and better teach the next generation? What are you guys thinking about that?
I think with the Hmong culture in general, we're very not weird. Just Hmong OGs in general are very judgmental, and I think that's what hits the depression and the Hmong community the most, is because they're always comparing you to some relative that's better, or not better, but like has more achievements. And then I think that pressures a lot of the kids, and they're just growing up. You just think to yourself, you're never good enough, you know. And I feel like how you get over that is I don't really. Sorry, OG. I don't really care what OG say.
Yeah. It's like my parents did that to me too. Like, it's sometimes something about trying to be better. There may be some traits that they just don't like you. Like, for example, I didn't do good in school, so they're like, hey, let's, for us to make him be better in school, we'll just say that cousin X does better than him. So why can't you be like cousin X? Not necessarily to make you better. It's like maybe they're trying to like push you in a way, but here, I guess in America, that doesn't fly, because over there, like I said, maybe the social structures was more acceptable. Like that style of parenting was more acceptable. I don't know, but over here, it's like, no, that's not cool, because if you do that, then he's gonna go to school and he might not take the hard classes. You know, he just want to take the class just enough to like be better, or just, you know, because now he's embarrassed, and now he's gonna be like traumatized by the situation. You know.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Now Later, my other co-host is asking, how do younger Hmong people communicate with their family members about depression? That one right there is going to be hard, because, like I said before, on the other topic that we talked about, depression, it is harder for these younger generation. Well, it should be easier for them, because I'm not saying that they're sensitive, but let me rephrase
here's
that.
the thing.
People in general, especially the Hmong kids, are a little harder due to pressure, due to what Kong just said. It makes them feel like they're not. What did you say?
Not good enough.
Yeah, not good enough. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Not good enough. You're always compared to someone. For me in general, it is harder for these younger generation, since there's a high rate. It's hard for these kids.
I feel like I'm gonna drop a truth bomb. I think for like my family, we're pretty OG. Just looking at how my family functions and how like that's the OG status. I think, me honest, like at a certain point when you're too old, especially like my family, like there's just some things that they won't let go. Like there's some things like grudges, past history, bad blood, like they just won't let that go. And like for me, like I feel like for me growing up, and I see like some of you guys had like younger families, remember than me, and I like, not just you guys room, but like I see like younger Hmong parents, how they deal with their kids, how the relationship dynamic is. I see it so much better. Like I see it so much more healthier.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say too, because like, you know, like when we say OGs, like we really mean like OGs,
and like,
you know, like we're in our 30s.
Yeah,
so our parents and like, our grandmas and grandpas.
Yeah, but I almost say like my siblings, because like some of my siblings, they're so old that they could be my parent. But I'm saying like their mindset, they're not about not about that stuff. They
Yeah.
they didn't grow up with that stuff. And I'm sorry if you guys watching this and you guys are hearing it and you guys like disagree. Like I'm just saying what I see. When my family like they come together and we love each other and stuff like that, but when there's fights, like they're stuck in their own ways, man. Like it's toxic. But when I see like, and I'm not saying the younger Hmong parents, they don't have issues. I'm pretty sure every family has issues. They all have like some sort of conflict. But the way I see how their kids talk to their parents, I see like it's so much different, you know. It's so much different, and I can see like a way out. But the thing is, there's still a lot of generations of OG families here. But it's gonna take a while. And to answer Trey's thing is like, I think we just gotta talk more about the stuff, make it more normalized, create friendship. And one thing too about the Hmong community that I don't like is that the idea of like don't have friends. No matter, like I hear all the time, like OGs, you know, your friends are nothing. You know, when I was your age, I had like a bunch of friends, blah blah blah. But now I have nobody. It's like, well, yeah, that's your problem. You had like 100 friends, but you didn't have committed friends, dude.
Hey,
so then
yeah,
when you
man.
were going through hardship,
Who was there to help cut meat?
yeah, yeah. But you know what I mean. Like the thing is, you need friendship, you need brotherhood, because when you go through crap, you gotta have friends to be there for them. You know. It's like, you know, like that's the thing. So you gotta build bonds, because like your friends and your family's not gonna be there for you. They keep saying that, but it's like, no, that's not true.
It's that brotherhood.
Comfort from me, like all my sisters, like most of my sisters got married. I mean, I love them too, but like, look, they got their own life. They got married. They're moved away, but they're not gonna be there for you too. But your friends, they could be there for you. Some of your friends, yeah, they might move away too, you know. But like I'm saying, like you need to build more bonds. You need to have more social connections. You need to you need to be around people that's gonna that you test them too, like life testing, and you guys make it through, you know. Like we went through St. Cloud together, you know. We were broke. We saw ghosts together.
Experience,
man.
We were hungry.
Yeah, you know, like
we ate Monet's burnt pork.
And didn't say anything.
We loved it that much.
We ate taco stir fry.
I ate his frozen Parmesan cheese bread, and I got sick.
You didn't cook it.
But you know what I mean? Like you need to build more bonds, because like if you let your depression ruminate, it's gonna become something that you don't want to do. You know.
I think with the younger generation too, especially, I can see it with my youngest brother. I think it's just a norm now to just talk, because it's funny because sometimes they sit and they talk. They're just closer now. Like growing up, I mean I was close with my siblings, but we never got to that level of we're gonna talk about feelings today, guys.
yeah. That's why I was referring back to how, you know, like us, because we're like on that. I would say that
Spectrum.
that spectrum, or like that borderline where things, you know, could get better. Things will get better, you know.
That's the thing. Like people handle things differently. Like for certain people, when they get depressed, right, it's harder for them because there's different levels. Like for some people, sorry, going back to depression, but it also goes to mental state as well. Sorry, but like for certain people, it's harder once they hit that depression mode. It is harder for them. Like we said, some people don't have the bond of brothers like how we all do in this room. Some people are like, man, like I'm depressed, but then no one to talk to. They handle it differently, and for some people, it's harder for them to get out of it. And which sometimes it's okay, but it's not okay at the same time. You will have to talk about or talk to someone like your friends. I wouldn't say coworkers, but if you need to, you can talk to your coworkers. Who else? Just don't cope with it yourself if you don't have the mindset. Like a perfect example, like us guys here. Once we're depressed, we know what to do. I wouldn't say like we know how to suppress the depression or get out of it. We do our own things to keep us busy, and it's our mental and mind state that we have. For me, if I'm depressed, if I feel depressed, I'm gonna say it again. I go fishing, or I go do this, or I go for a walk, take my dog out. Just certain things that we know what to do and what to say to get out of that. You were gonna say something?
I forgot.
I feel like for
well, I'm listening. You know, like I'm listening, and then you know,
I think for like
forget.
depression, stuff like that, like you gotta like if you have a bottle of water and you for like depression, if that's all there is to it, then that's all it is. But if you start mixing other things, having your life bigger than just what it is, then you start to realize like, yeah, I am depressed. I'm not the happiest right now. I could be more happier, but my life is not all about this. I have like things to do. I have like hobbies to do, you know, and that keeps busy. And I get it. Like, you know, there's times where I'm just depressed. I go to bed sleeping and like this thing about I don't have this and that. Like, you know, but your life is not just about you're not alone. You have friends. I have family. I have family that love you. Can't just always let that stuff win all the time. And going back to like a historical talk, it's like, you know, like a lot of people like died to get you to get here, you know, like you shouldn't just like kill yourself. And like as human beings, like we're you're given the gift of like the will to live. You just gotta like fight for it, you know, like there's so many things that was out to kill us back then, you know, like, and you have the ability, you know, all your ancestors, like they get like, what they went through, they passed and the will to like live, they passed that to you. And sometimes you just gotta just tap into it. And when you tap into it, yeah, it's not gonna be easy because like look, back then a lot of things were trying to kill them, you know. It's just like whatever's trying to kill you, your depression or whatever's trying to block you for having that good life, you gotta tap into it. It's not something like you have it and you can just tap into it and it's like it'll just change it for you. It's like you have to work towards it, you know. Because like, I'm coming from a point of view like let's say there's no one to help you. You have no friends. You have no family. You have like the thing is you have your will to push yourself. And I may not know what you're going through and you may not have anybody, but I'm telling you like, in these words, like, look, if your ancestors made it this far, you can too, you know? And if you don't have anybody, you don't need anybody.
We have another question from Mr. Mode. How can young men develop emotional discipline?
I think it really depends on the person, and it's up to you yourself to decide that you'll get there. It'll click one day. You can't teach emotional discipline to anybody. No matter, I feel like
I learned that the hard way.
Oh man,
you just gotta. You yourself can only help. You can only help yourself. No matter how many hands are there to like help you, it's up to you to take the help.
It's up to you to reach out.
Yeah, it's up to you to reach out. If you're never gonna have self-discipline like that to get yourself out of depression, you're just gonna keep sinking deeper. It's hard and it's kind of shitty, but only you can help yourself, honestly, at the end of the day. Like there could be like friends that talk about it, you could go talk to about, but like Michael and like we always say, it's just gonna come back. It'll always come back. It'll always come back and hit you even harder sometimes, but it's up to you to get out. And even I can't explain how to how to teach it.
So like, I mean, I'm the way how I kind of cope with it is I still kind of go through that because as like what Peng said about if you're by yourself, but then you like your mental state can't handle of like more of like trying to be not really self-aware but like self-thought.
You have too much time for yourself, and you have too much time to think.
For example, like it's okay like to be, because like to be by yourself to think, right? But then if like you can't like how do I say like make it in a positive way, in the sense of like oh like I'm by myself and I notice this more, if I'm by myself from like someone else telling me like oh you're like this because of this, and it's like no, like it's kind of like that, like knowing yourself, and when you're in that state, that's what I was kind of referring to back to, like like being by yourself to kind of being by yourself to think, self-reflect, I guess, but then in a healthy way, You
I
know.
think one way to teach young men or just people in general to like emotional discipline is to have people that you look up to. You know, like certain idols, like actors. Like for me, like it's Bruce Lee, Jet Li, whatever. Like they were like learning martial arts stuff like that, or how they carry themselves. You know, at some degree, they have like some emotional intelligence, emotional discipline. And like you look at yourself. Sometimes like I may have tantrums because I didn't get this piece of candy, or I don't know, whatever. And it's like, all right, would this person that I look up to, do they act like this? No, they don't. So it's like in the future, or even right now, like start taking those steps to think about how you want to behave and how you want to hold yourself up when time comes that will trigger you. You know, I mean, I still get triggered nowadays, but you know, but
You
you know,
get
but like,
triggered all the time.
but
all
like
the time.
you learn how to tone that down. You know, tone that down, and then when you want to use it for whatever reasons, or yeah, use it. But like yeah, have like goals to aspire by. Like how do I want my emotional state to be when this and this happen? You know.
Yeah. So Julie, thanks Julie for the info. So 40 to 85% of Hmong people have experienced some kind of mental health issue, compared to 20 to 26% of the general population, according to the research published in 2010 by the Wilder Foundation. Trauma from war and migration.
Yep.
Migration. Oh yeah. Sorry, can't read, guys.
You need glasses.
I need glasses. God dang, now why you gotta post? And stress from adapting to new culture continues to the high rate by NPR 2020. So thank you. I try to find that percentage of suicidal rate or depression or anything like that. I couldn't find anything, so I appreciate you posting that. Now I was posting a bunch of other things that I'm not gonna read because that's a lot. But other than that, like, so for suicidal stuff and like mental health, do you guys think like it's being as a kid or like a young adult or a upcoming teenager? Do you guys think is that it's the pressure from like school? Because I know some kids try to be like cool and stuff and like try to fit in with the crowd, and then they can't, and then they decide just to kill themselves. Like the video that I saw, I forgot what video it was, but it was like a news one. The parents was like, this kid is so good, he's nice, he's always up, always happy, joyful. The dad was like, yeah, I was talking to him and he told me he was gonna come down for some cereal, but 20 minutes later I found him dead. Suicide. You know? So you like, if you have a chance to like talk to your niece, nephews, younger siblings, and you see them depressed, please do so. But like certain things like that, do you guys think it's pressure, or do you guys think it comes from other things?
Well, me having like a bunch of like niece nephew, like and me once being young, I think at that age, you're just very more emotional, just because you're going through puberty, you're becoming like more of an adult. Like those emotions are just so much stronger, like all the urges, like whatever it is, you know, and especially trying to like fit into social norm, trying to be cool, trying to have social status, because you're just learning about the stuff, and when you feel it for the first time, like it's just very more strong. So like for me, like I wanted to be XYZ. Some of that stuff is still lingering, and when you're not like that, if you find out, or like when you see the reality, like oh, maybe you're not that badass, you're not that tall, you're not that fast, whatever, like that
You're
stuff.
not him.
Yeah, you're not that guy. But like that stuff like dawns on you. So I watched that video that you talked about. Like I don't know what he went through, but maybe he went through something like that. And I wish that he would have just stuck around. If he would have stuck around, he would have realized that that part was just a phase. And for the people that are around that age, like young adults, like under 20, like you know, like, and you're going through this, I just want you guys to know that, like, look, we went through that stuff too, and we still remember when we were that age. You know, I still feel like it was just yesterday that I was 18, but just know that stuff, like, give it time, let it like phase through. You know, like let it fade through, and like you know, it's like a breakup. You know, your first breakup in high school, like it's it's like the thing that you feel like it's gonna kill you. You know, it's like you just gotta let that stuff slide, dude. Like just give it a few years, dude. Like it's
I'll kill myself. That's what you're talking about, the first breakup.
yeah, like that stuff like will get you, dude. Like just your first girlfriend, your first breakup, dude. I saw like that with my brother. I saw that with me. He's like, dude, it's tough, dude. I
That was
understand.
me too. Went through it. You guys got like, you guys still think it's pressure, or
think it's
is it
pressure.
just straight like language barrier? Because I do know that some of the OGs that talk to these Gen Zs are like, I'm gonna say it in English first. Oh, you can't speak Hmong. Oh, you're not Hmong. And then, but then in our language, oh, 咪都個係道路蒙咯，我大家係道路蒙了，個字又蒙了. You know,
Yeah,
it's that kind of stuff, and probably like straight bullying. You know,
I
like
feel like
for us, we bully each other, but we know that we're just joking. We don't take it to the heart. I mean, some people do, but most of us don't. But it's like basically bullying from the older generation. What I'm trying to say.
I feel like that doesn't. I mean, this is my opinion, so I may not disagree with you, but like I feel like that doesn't really like contribute to the depression, but that definitely like
No,
contributes.
I'm talking about like the mental.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm saying
Mental
is that does create like a cutoff. Like they're more cut off from the OG side. Whatever wisdom they have is useless to them because they don't want to talk to them because of like they say, oh, I can't speak Hmong, so
Well,
I'm
I'm talking more based off of your families being more traditional. Your family in general is traditional, but then like the OGs are like, oh, like your family's traditional. Your mom and pop speaks Hmong. How come they don't speak Hmong to you? Why can't you speak Hmong? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying too. Like, and the kids are like, oh, I feel like they don't understand me. So if I have problems, they're not gonna understand me too because they don't. They want me before I'm anything to them. They want me to speak Hmong instead of like understanding who I am as a person. That's what I'm getting because I have like niece and nephew and I feel like that's how they feel sometimes because like when they talk to the OGs like they can't even speak Hmong so they feel kind of awkward. They feel that divide and sometimes they may feel that the OGs don't look down upon them because they can't speak. So there's like that barrier. But I think a lot of kids they have too many things going on to think about that. But yeah, that does have an anchor in its own way. But I don't think that's the whole picture. But it does create social disconnection though, which could lead to depression too.
Yeah, it does. Like, it's basically like judgmental and like, how should I say it? Judgmental from the community. Sometimes even at school. If you go to church, like that, I think it does. I think the language barrier, if you can't speak Hmong, is a big one as well because I have seen it a lot. Most of these Gen Zs can speak Hmong and some can't. For us is different. Our mindset is different. So it's like we basically like what Kong said. We don't care what OGs say. I don't care what OGs say. But these Gen Z, I wouldn't say
we're gonna be the OGs.
We are the OGs. But you have to understand that their mindset, from your mindset to my mindset, everybody's mindset here, their mindset is different. They're more sensitive than how we were raised. Because we were raised differently from how they were raised. Because from your parents raising our brothers and sisters to raising us, we were more traditional hard way. And then from these Gen Zs, they were raised from our brothers and sisters, which they, as you said earlier, treats them differently, and you see them differently how they are from how we are. So they're more sensitive to the barrier of, not barrier, but like, yeah, language barrier.
I would say, well, yeah, for that part, but to backpack off of what you're saying about like as like our brothers and sisters that are raising our nephews, or like just the younger people kind of under us, just comes with more aware, like we like as we know of it now, we like our nieces, our kids, brothers, older brothers would teach their would make them more aware of the
Yeah.
mindset that they're thinking of, or like they feel a certain way, and that's where they as our older siblings was, oh, you know, you like, that's like, you're sad because of this, or oh, that's, you know, like that's depression or something, you know. And then, and as like to the OGs is like, you know, they wouldn't know that. They're just like, oh, you're just feeling that, and that'll go away, you know.
Yeah.
That's like,
I'm gonna cuss real quick and then say like, stop being a little bitch.
I think
that's basically what he's trying to say.
Yeah. Mentally, like mental health or mentally, if you look up to your parents and they're the OGs and they're always telling you, like that's you're Hmong, you don't know how to speak Hmong, you're stupid. Or like you just see OGs like constantly like shit on you why you're not so good at like referring back from earlier. You're not as good as your cousin. You're not as good as person X. Of course, your mental. You're just gonna go down, straight down, and you're just gonna.
that goes to anybody.
Yeah, that goes to
I
everybody.
can attest to
Like,
that.
Just imagine getting shit on every day by OGs.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, because
Like
like
you're
for,
always getting shitting on, and like there's never a day where nobody's talking shit about you. Well, we're always talking shit to each other, but that's different. But for what Colin's saying is like you're always getting shitting on because you're not good at this, you're not good at that, you're not good at this.
Because somebody that you look up to.
Yeah.
So.
like for me growing up, like, you know, my dad whooped my ass, you know, like, you know, when I was acting out.
my dad whooped my ass too.
But
Whose dad does it?
But that I don't like. For me, I don't remember the pain and all that stuff. But what I do remember is when my parents compared me to my cousins and them. You know what I mean? Like I got my ass whooped with belts, with stuff like that. Got hit in the head. But you know that stuff. Yeah, I did. But when they say, you know, you're not as good as this person's got like this graduation, or they got a house ready.
That's cheap.
Emotional damage.
Like that's what stays more. You know, that's what does the damage. You know.
Oh, Chi, 5 cent 93. I know that's you, Chi. I like you. Chi said, all the Gen Z needs to learn how to watch Hmong movies. No, Chi.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just for honestly, like that, like you just gotta understand some OGs, they're stuck in their ways. Like if they have like negative opinions about you just because you can't speak Hmong, you kind of like just do your own thing. Because like let's say you're a good person overall, but you can't speak Hmong, like yeah, just keep doing your stuff, dude. I mean, if you want to learn like Hmong, that's a good thing too. But but to me, like I feel like if you want to learn Hmong, you should learn it for yourself, not to prove to somebody else. Because honestly, that if that person just judge you just based off that you can't speak Hmong, then that person's a piece of shit. Like even though they may be your like your mom or dad or like your auntie or uncles, it's like, dude, like if you're just gonna judge me from just like the outer surface, then you're not. Then you don't really have anything to offer to me, you know. And that's my take.
Yeah, basically that's basically our mindset. Like how, for example, doing content creating or streaming or podcasts. If you're too focused on how people judge you of what you do or how you do it or how you shoot it or what you say, you're not going to achieve anything in life, basically. I do know a couple people that are too afraid to like do things because of that. And that comes to what this topic on this one is, the mental state. If you're too worried of how people view you as a person, then you will never achieve anything. You will never grow out of your shell of being afraid to come out. But like I said, like me back then, started streaming. I didn't have a mic. I didn't have a webcam. I was too afraid of my own voice. I didn't like how I looked. It's all about the mindset, man. Like the mental side. Look at me now. I got my own podcast. Thanks to my producer over there shooting it all the time. He doesn't know, but I appreciate him all the time for helping me do this. Without him, there would be no podcast. But it comes to the mental state, man. Yeah,
life is too short to have your life be talked down by an OG, dude. Like life is
OG or anybody.
Oh, anybody. Like it's just life is just too short, dude. Like don't waste your time on that crap, you know. And you know, I mean, you know, I understand they're your family members, but like they can only go so far. Like no matter what, this is something that my mom like tried to teach me. Like no matter what happens in life, like it's your life, and if you don't do anything with it, then no one's really gonna. I mean, like it's your responsibility to make your life happen, you know, because in the end, like your siblings and your parents are not going to be there for you. They're going to be there, but like in terms of like in terms of the capacity when you were growing up, no, like you're not a kid anymore. You got to go out and spread your wings and stuff like that. So
Ever anybody say anything, just look them straight in the eye and just laugh.
Yo, some people are different. You know, we can do that, but you know, some people are different, man.
and you know, if anything, if the OGs are not giving the wisdom you need, like find our generation. You know, we're more understanding. We're on both sides. We were like there before the internet. Obviously, you know, shit test them. You know, see if how much they're willing to give you, how much wisdom they're gonna help you, how much effort they're gonna put into it. You know, and the people that are meant to be there in your life, they'll be there. You know, but the people that are not, let them go. You know, don't think about them too much. You know.
True, that's true. Going back, man, that's so tough. Like suicidal stuff. Like if I think me as myself as an uncle, her like my niece or my nephew ever did killed himself. I guess you could say. I don't want to say kill himself. That's just such a horrible word to say. I think if that ever happened, I think that like, or anybody in general that I love or know or around with ever do that, I think I failed as a friend, as an uncle, or as a brother. But at the same time, the back of my head is like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Sorry to say, but like you could have talked to someone. You could have. I know it is hard, but it goes both ways. Like you have to understand that if you do take your life or kill yourself, it's like you're leaving in a bigger burden behind for the people that are still alive, care for stuff like that.
That's one thing that I kind of like worried because like watching my like nephews and nieces grow up, like I do see things that in myself that what they're doing. Like I see like, for example, some of my nephew play a lot of games. Like man, like shouldn't play too much video games because I could feel like because what I gone through like in terms of like I could have done better if I didn't play so much video games. But I see some of them doing that. It's like I want to be there. I want to talk to you, but I feel like it's kind of hard because like I don't want to be your parent because your parents already give you a lot of shit already. Or I don't know if they don't give you any shit at all. Then it's like how am I supposed to do it? You know. But I want to. You know that's what makes me worry. You know because like it's. Especially in society nowadays, like just buying a house is even tougher, and like getting a good job is hard. But it's like well, your nephew is like whoever is like playing X games, Y, Z, like going out all the time. It's like you know you need to like start cracking down and becoming like a better person. But you don't want to be that person to like hit them with life, you know. But it's like at the same time, I'm trying to save you 10 years of pain. But at the same time, it's like that also means that you might not like me as much. So it's like it's very hard too, you know. It's hard to like. Try to like guide them through the young life because you don't want to take that life away from them too because you're only young once. But at the same time, like you want to prepare them because like life after being a young adult, like that's it, man. You're an adult and now, like you gotta start paying bills. You have like real responsibilities. Like this, I don't. It's hard, you know. It's hard, but I try my best when I have the opportunity to say it. But sometimes I feel like I just don't have enough opportunity to build that bond connection to like giving them that truth bomb, you know, that they need to hear.
Who's OG in that?
No. Okay.
Put that OG. He wouldn't even sit at the table.
He wouldn't even sit at the OG table.
Like for example, like if my nephew Chase is watching this, like it's like this. Back in 2000, like 5 or whatever, you know, when we were kids, we wanted the Skylines, you know, we want the GTRs, we want the Supras, we want the MR2s, we want all those JDM cars. But if you look at us now, a lot of us, we don't have those cars, you know. Some of us do. Congrats to you guys. You guys have them, you know. But a lot of it is because like it's financial issues. And I was telling my nephew, look, if you want these cars, and look, our generations, a lot of us, we don't have those cars. You know why? Because we didn't do shit with our lives. We didn't get those good jobs to get those cars, you know. So I'm telling you right now, you need to work on your ass right now because if you want the cars, it's going to take you at least 5-10 years. And if you're just screwing around playing Roblox and Fortnite all day, you ain't gonna get it. But if you want those cars, you gotta start now. but that also means that you got to sacrifice a little bit of your childhood to build that mindset to get it, you know? Because like for us, like I have those friends that are like, man, the GTR 34, man, that's my dream car. But I was like,
me.
bro,
Why you talking about me, man?
I was like, bro,
I
like
want an
what were you doing for the past 10 years? That's what I'm saying. Like it's, but that's where like for me, like I save that special opportunity to tell like my nephew or niece or whatever, like, look, I know that you're still a kid, but like when you get to my age, it's gonna be a lot harder because it's gonna be like you have more responsibilities. People think they have like higher standards of you. Like you should be buying XYZ, a new car or a new house, whatever. You should have this in the bank, you know. And I'm just telling you, like, look, I want to help them, but sometimes it's hard because you don't want to like hit them with responsibilities too early, you know.
It's because they're still kids. They haven't developed that part of their brains yet to understand why you have to start now. Like for me, like, God, I wasted my 20s. I hate it so much, but I'm trying to make up for it as I go when I hit my 30s. And it's like I should have listened to my brother when right when I got out of high school. It's like and basically what my dad said too is like it's either you go to school or you work. It's just one of those. And like of course most likely they wanted me to go to school. And then always the quote of what my brother said is always work hard now and then play later.
Yeah,
and I should have went by that, but I didn't. Got out of high school and just like, man, I'm finally fucking done with school. Fuck this shit. But it took me a long time. It hit me right when basically when I hit about a year ago, like 29, 30.
Yeah, but on a lighter note too. You know, we just came to this country like maybe like 60, 70 years ago. Like, give yourself a break. Just know that the OGs, they didn't come with all the knowledge. So we didn't like learn from them. We didn't know what to do. We're starting to see that now. No? Now we're seeing actually Hmong people become having celebrity status. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? So like all the younger generation, just let you know, you guys are living one of the best times in the world right now. Because you're seeing like the OGs, like what they achieve. You see what we achieve. Now you're seeing your generation what they can achieve, and we're just getting better and better. But that also means that you gotta apply yourself more, and you have to go through shit to get the bigger bag, dude.
Yeah, man. Like shout out to Sunisa for being in the Olympics, winning gold about like what 2 years ago, and then shout out to Lexi Vang for being the first Hmong K-pop star. Let's go, Hmong people are coming out, yeah.
And you know, back then we didn't have all these Hmong schools. Like, there's a bunch of Hmong schools now too. You know, it's like, look, we're moving up in the world, and sometimes it may take a little bit slower. Sometimes some of the generations we may not have the knowledge to teach younger generations. But you know, that may suck. But but the knowledge is out there. You just have to look outside your family. That kind of sucks too. That may kind of cause some sort of like sadness or depression. But the thing is, it's up to you. Sometimes it's only yourself that can save yourself, you know.
Yes, sir. True. But yeah, with coming to that, we are coming close to the end of our podcast. I would like to give a thanks to our producer over there for being such an awesome host all the time. Without him, like I said, we would not have this podcast. And I would also like to thank my co-hosts here, Tu, Kong, Michael, now in the background posting a bunch of stuff. We do have another podcast